Never miss an episode of the Final Furlong podcast. Subscribe now on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And now, here's your host, Emmet Kennedy.
PNC Bank Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf Sprint, 7 o'clock on this side of the pond. Sweet Azteca is the 2-1 favourite. Bet or bin, Sweet Azteca, Howard.
Bin, it's a wide open race. She's fast. There's a lot of other fast horses. I'm going to bin Sweet Azteca, especially at the price she's going to be.
Ryan?
Been big defection of Copian into the sprint with the boys. I do not believe this is a very wide open race. I have a very hard bet in this race, but I'm sure we'll get to that later. But been Sweet Azteca.
Charlie?
Yeah, Copian was the only horse in this race I trusted at all, so I'm certainly not going to take a favorite now that the only competent horse in the field is gone, so I'm going to bin.
And Copian is out?
Yeah, I believe Copian's
For
going
sure.
to
Running versus the boys. Running versus the boys.
Okay.
They
Yes.
swapped him.
Okay,
Yeah.
big shout. Tim, bin or bet, Sweet Azteca?
Have you seen her on the track? Bin. I didn't like the way she was moving in some of these videos that I've seen here. Yeah, I'm going to go with Hope Road in this race.
Okay, so Hope Road for Tim. That's the quality road. Bob Baffett. Shout out Bob Baffett. Maybe you are going to get in the winner's circle. But Howard, who are you going to side with?
I have a strange feeling that Ricci is going to want to run a big race. Not Ricci Prasad, but Ricci the horse.
Christina Ricci? Christina Ricci?
Yeah. For Bob, I love turnbacks. I'm a complete sucker for turnbacks. This horse is turning back from 2 turns against Cavallari and Sides of Beauty. And I think she's going to sit off the pace and run a big race. I'm going to go with Ricci in an opinion. In a race I don't have a strong opinion in.
Yeah, we shot the lights out with Soul of an Angel in this race last year, despite the fact that I had people telling me this horse has got no chance. Thankfully, right. I ignored that. Ryan, for you.
Huge bet, Hope Road. I think I all signs point to Hope Road. Hope Road for me. The only thing that would dissuade me is she draws 1 or 2, maybe 3. Because even though this is 7, we talked about this a little bit earlier with the track profile. This is a wide open race. So if you draw there in post positions 1, 2, or 3, I'm gonna have to go a little bit deeper. If I can get 4 or anywhere towards the outside, I loved Copian in this race. I thought going 7, she was a cinch. She's the best at this distance, in my opinion, in the division. She is out, and the only horse really that Hope Road has lost to of late is Copian going the 7 furlong distance. So I got to put Hope Road right in that spot. I'm not scared of anybody else. This is Bob Baffert's best chance to get a win in either of the 2 Breeders' Cup days, in my opinion.
Don't think there's just a ton of speed in here. Hope Road can just,
Yes.
we just talked about, just sit the pocket. I mean,
Yes.
there's a ton of speed in here, and I think Baffert's going to get the sweet trick here.
And this race falls apart almost every year like clockwork.
Yeah.
Unless you have the Goodnight Olive or, a really top class horse, you get Aloha West blowing up the tote. You get Soul of an Angel last year, who Drayden Van Dyke is still riding that high of that victory. But Hope Road, I believe, is the goods. I believe Hope Road is the goods, and I will take the price that I'm going to get on her, which is probably around 5-2.
Charlie?
Well, I think we're either all, for the most part, going to be really right or really wrong, because I see this race with Copian out the same way. For someone who's been anti-Baffert, I think it's a Baffert 1-2, and I think Howard's got a good idea here. I'm going to go Hope Road over Ricci. I'm just a little concerned that Ricci won't quite get there in time, but it would not surprise me at all. I just think they're both going to be sitting off this pace. Obviously, Ricci's going to be a little further back and have a little more to do, and I'm just going to trust that they don't move on Hope Road too quickly and that Hope Road just holds off. But yeah, I think there's going to be a ton of speed. I'm completely against Sweet Azteca. I think the speed's going to eat her up. I think Hope Road's going to sit that perfect trip, and I'm going to have Ricci underneath, but I will be using both, and it would not surprise me at all if either of them won.
This is starting to sound like Hope Road / Ricci are just banker material for whatever multiple scumbag bet. Lucky 63, for example, you're going to be doing to try and boost the profits. Is that who you're going to be siding with, Tim?
Hope Road?
Yeah.
Hope Road. Yeah, that's where I'm going. Hope Road.
All right, Hope Road. On this occasion, we do want Bob Baffett to shoot the lights out, but maybe for that race and that race only. The 741 is the pre-vegan Breeders' Cup. Oh, man, do we have to talk about this? Can we not just skip to the next race? Is it not just easier?
We have to talk about this. This is my favorite race.
Why would you say that? Why? The pre-vegan Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go with AG Bullet. I know that Moratorius is the 7-2 favorite. I'm going to decide AG Bullet is the favorite. Bet or bin AG Bullet Howard?
Ben, I don't like big field turf sprints at Del Mar, although I did hear that the European turf sprinters are rubbish. Someone told me on my pod, rubbish, horrible, complete fade, toss. Someone over just on this side of my screen there said that. AG Bolt's really good. It's a shame Motorius is out. I'm just going to bin just because AG Bolt will probably be the favorite, and this is another field that's pretty wide open to me.
I was hoping AG Bullet was just going to crush this lot because I may very well have been on a rampage about how rubbish our sprinters are, but that worries me. Okay, bet or bin AG Bullet, Ryan?
Bin. Big field. I don't trust that horse. Going 5 furlongs. Came really close last year, but had a really nice trip. I got a bin this year.
Charlie?
Yeah, complete bin. I've been on AG Bullet her last 3 races, and she hasn't done anything wrong. I don't like her at the 5, and I just don't know if she'll get the trip or not, and I'm not willing to find out at that price.
Tim?
Bin. Too much speed yet again.
Okay, so
white hot pace. You're going to have to find someone that's going to sneak through along the fence. That's what I think in this race.
So who is going to be the one to capitalize if AG Bullet doesn't fire? Howard?
I don't know, man. I mean, I liked Arizona Blaze, but you said that horse has no shot. So, I mean, Arizona Blaze it was really good last year over this turf course.
He's good. He's a good horse, and he has the course and distance form, and he comes into this in the back of a Group 1 win, and he was sent off favourite for the Nunthorpe. I'd prefer him over the other Europeans, but that's not an endorsement.
I don't want to just throw horses out there for your viewers and listeners. I have way too much respect for them. I have to look at the race more. The draw is going to be huge in this race.
Okay, I kind of am interested in the old boy Kadem, but he probably doesn't have enough runway to actually get there. And the fact that I'm talking about the fact that I'm talking about a 9-year-old sprinter sort of says it all as well. But he did look good on the track the other day. Ryan?
Real quick. I know obviously there's some things to figure out in this race. I don't want AG Bullet or Silver Bullet, whatever you want to call that horse. Motorius not officially out. I've heard that maybe we might still be a go, in which case I would take Motorius. If he is out, I am passing this race completely. I have no strong opinions. I want nobody. I will watch the race and watch the chaos. There's no starlust in this field for me, so I will still ride the high. I'll watch the replay of last year's race as this year's race is going off.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I think this is going to be a no-bet race for me. Well, I'll watch it on Sky and see who comes out on top. But Charlie, unless you've got something really persuasive, this is a bin race altogether for me.
Oh, I could never bin this race. I mean, for starters, I will ride that Starlust high. But for me, there's a horse in this race where if you told me this horse would be here, and I know Howard and Ryan know what horse I'm going to talk about, I would literally be crying tears of joy. This is one of my favorite horses of all time. And I can actually tell you it is the only sprint-related horse I've actually actively enjoyed watching and have willingly lost so much money on, but finally started to win money on, and that's Reef Runner. I love this horse with all my heart. This is the Gulfstream local horse, the ultimate closer. I've chased this horse forever. I've made so much money on him in exactas and tries underneath. And then one day, he magically decided at the end of his Gulfstream campaign to learn how to be more of a stalker and not sit at the back at Gulfstream Speedway where you can't close. And then wouldn't you know it, when you decide to stalk at a track that's speed favored, instead of close and start in Tampa when the race is in South Beach, he actually could get there in time and wins. Then he goes over to the West Coast, and despite Paco Lopez being on him, who is the worst in the sport, so of course Paco Lopez naturally, shocker, stop me if you've heard this before, he committed an infraction that cost Reef Runner a race that he deserved to win. Doesn't surprise me, but at 18-1, he won that race. He won that race and got it done, and then tried 6.5, and he could do no wrong there and ran 100 buyer. So, Ryan's talked about this before. I saw it happen when I hit Starlust at a big price. If you can be that closing horse who gets over to the rail and saves the ground, you can make the move. I know we don't know the post positions yet, but I'm just hoping all of the luck is on Reef Runner's side, and he gets that post position where he can pull that off, rides the rail, and goes by. It is so exciting to me to hear how bad you say the overseas horses are, because it gives me hope that Reef Runner could actually do this. And I'm trying to keep.
This is why Reef Runner has changed his style. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say.
You know. He's an unsullied.
Tim understands. Believe me.
It lightened him up. It got him 2-3 lengths more forward.
No doubt about
it. It was a big deal. But yeah, and I mean, look, this is a horse who was right out of a Motorius who's been so good here. So by side, I do think Reef Runner actually is entering the form of his life and has a real chance here. And then the one overseas horse who I thought was a little interesting did lose, obviously, to Arizona Blazing. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm just going to try anyway. But Bucanero Fuerte. I don't know if I
good
said
pronunciation.
That right or
well done.
butchered it. I'm going to try. But I think this one has a little bit of interesting upside. So that would be the other one I would definitely use and think has a chance. But yeah, I'm going to chase Reef Runner at a field that I think is incredibly weak.
I don't think he's coming, is he?
Oh, is he out now?
I thought I read that he wasn't coming. I could be wrong.
I can't imagine.
I have not heard either way.
Yeah, I can't imagine Kia is going to.
We're gonna find out in less than an hour.
Yeah, matter of minutes, which is great timing. Which is great timing for this.
Even more money on Reef Runner. Then even more money on Reef Runner.
By the way, I had little interest in having a bet in this race, and now all of a sudden I'm all in Team Reef Runner. Eligible to improve second run off a gelding operation, poor old boy. And suddenly, is he going to have Paco Lopez? Shout out Paco Lopez, of course. By the way, special guest
Absolutely
Paco Lopez
not.
is here, ladies and gentlemen. Look.
And thank God he will not, which is so good. And honestly, I was talking to a good friend of our podcast, Noah Maher, Mr. West Coast Bias himself, and we were discussing if our USO might potentially get the ride again, who's a local, which I would like if he did, because if anybody's going to, know the tracks well and know how to execute a ride, it's going to be him. So I wouldn't mind that at all.
Okay, we're hoping for no Paco Lopez. So, Tim Shaw, your pick for the sprint.
Is Notorious is out? This is the first I've heard of it. I guess there's rumors that he's not.
It is not official. It is not official. I believe it is leaning that way, but it is not official.
Well, I'm having trouble coming up with someone here, so I'm just going to close my eyes and swing. I think this horse None Hudson is interesting. I don't think he's got the numbers right now to win, and that's why you're going to get paid if you like him. But number one is Wesley Ward. That race in the Arctic up in Woodbine, he was 6 wide, and if you watch that race, that was a very, very impressive run. So he's off since May to August, right? So he ran in Del Mar, and he got beat a leg to Reef Runner and Motorius. So if Motorius is out, what do you want to do with Reef Runner? You like him or not? He was right there with both of those horses. Then he comes back and does just a bit better in the Arctic at Woodbine. So he's third start off a layoff with Wesley Ward, who we all know what he can do. You're probably what's the betting line on None Hudson? Do you have a number?
20s.
20s. Yeah, I figured it would be. So if you don't really have a strong opinion and you're looking, that race in the Arctic, whether or not it's a foreshadowing of what's to come, that was kind of a bit of an eye opener. But he will. I think, like I said about a couple of horses before, he'll have to find a couple of lengths. But Wesley Ward, he can find it at times on the turf here. So I'd be interested to see if that horse. He just has to improve a little bit, and you'll get paid handsomely if he does.
Yeah, very much so, especially if you're going to hit the trifecta. We've been playing the sprint roulette wheel of madness on the Final Furlong podcast, because you may as well just spin the roulette wheel.
I keep saying, don't get punch drunk about speed in California, and they're gonna lay it down early, and None Hudson might run right over the top of him.
Well, you may as well just spin the roulette wheel, because our sprinters are just so random. But what crack would it be if the recently gelded Reef Runner ends up fighting out the finish with the gelding None Hudson, and in behind is the well-named No Balls for the 1, 2, 3. It just kind of writes itself. Maybe that's just the bet we do. We'll go on to the dirt sprint, which hopefully is going to be a far more entertaining race. But bet or bin the favorite, Bentornato. Let's go with that. Howard, bet or bin the favorite in the sprint?
I know Ryan's gonna poo-poo this because his girl Copian is in here. I love Bentornato. This can be a major play. I already have 4-1 on him in an anti-post bet through my buddy Davey Lane that I made 6 weeks ago after he won at Churchill. I absolutely love this horse. I don't want to, continue on. They're just second off the layoff, ran huge last year, is fresh, is only a 4-year-old. If he gets the right trip, he's a winner. I love major play for me, Bentornato this weekend.
Okay, so I'm following you in blind. That's that. We're now looking at
That's a bet.
We're now looking at Hope Road and Bentornato as just absolute lucky 63 good things. Ryan, better bin the favorite. And just bear in mind, this is the brains of the Triple H Racing Podcast. Do you really want to be taking him on?
Look, first, Copian is not my girl. Copian is Jackson's girl. And Jackson loves Copian. I like Copian and I respect her. That's not why I'm going to bin Bentornato, but I'm going to bin Bentornato. I think the price is going to be too short. I think he is all the talent. If you could tell me he was 4-1, that's the only bet I'd make the entire weekend.
He's 4-1 for me right now. He's already 4-1 for me.
So then you already bet. You played better bin before the show started. Hell, before the Keeneland meet started. So no, at 4-1, absolutely got to bet that. I'm going to bin Bentornato as for what is going to be a very short price.
Okay.
I have to bin.
How short is he going to be, Ryan?
7 to 5, 6 to 5.
You can get 7 to 2 as we're recording.
No way. Not
Really?
with Copian.
Okay.
Not with Copian in there.
Oh, actually, no. That's a very fair point. With Copian in there, no, that's good. I didn't.
And
Yeah,
straight no
okay.
and straight no chase the champion last year. I think I might be getting 2.5 on this horse. And I will run again to the windows, Emmet.
7 to 2.
At 2.5.
If you can get on in Ireland, 7 to 2 is the price you can get with 1xBet right now about Bentornato, and you just missed the 4-1.
I'll be back. Hold on.
Davey,
I mean,
get yourself to Ireland quick.
I do have only about 5 minutes. I apologize. Emmet.
That's okay.
I have to leave in about 5 minutes. Just let you know.
That's no problem. And
7 to 2.
we'll be pointing people in the direction of the Triple H Racing Podcast, which will be going live shortly after this one.
Thank you.
So at 7 to 2, would you go with him?
But no, I'll bin.
Okay.
I got to bin. Just because I have a top play in here that I have to say.
Okay. So who's your top play going to be?
Lovesick Blues. I loved him in the Bing Crosby. I got to take him again. And if Puro Magic goes to this race, that is going to be the major key here for me. Because Puro Magic, the Japanese import, they have shown time and again how fast they will go at all costs. And this horse has speed on turf. Turf to dirt, typically the speed translates rather well. That is going to heat things up. And Lovesick Blues ran his best race of his career going 6 furlongs over this dirt track at Del Mar in the Grade 1 Bing Crosby where the pace held together. I have to take him again. It might be a fool's errand, but I'm going to get a good price. And Lovesick Blues for me.
The 18 to 1 couldn't have had anything to do with it, could it? Did you cash out?
I did.
You did.
You did.
I did.
Pure
That was my top pick on the day.
Good for
Pure
you.
Magic would prefer the turf sprint, just to let
I know.
folks.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'd run them on dirt, to be honest. But anyway.
16 to 1 is the price you can get about Lovesick Blues right now. Okay, better bin the favorite, which Howard is all over it, Charlie, or are you with something else?
I'm going to bin. I think would still potentially be my topic. I just don't have a good read on this race the more I look at it. No, I mean, I think this reminds me of like the True Love race we talked about at the very beginning, just because I think it's potentially the most likely winner. I don't want to find out those odds. This race, honestly, I feel worse about than the sprints. Okay, not the sprint. Actually, well, yeah. I would say I feel worse about this race than the 2 turf sprints. I have that little confidence in my opinions in this race. I still will give someone when we cycle back around, but I think this is a very tough race. And now with Copian in, it's more intriguing to me, but this would be a spread race for me. I don't have a strong read on it.
Don't listen to him, Emmet. Don't listen to him, my friend.
I've already, it's already written down. I've got to do it now.
It's fine. Just take Reef Runner, and then once you win there, you can do whatever you want here. It's okay.
It may very well be a patent. It may very well be a patent. Tim, bet
So
or
all the lads at Ballydoyle just to pound Bentornato, and it'll make their weekend. You can go to the local pub and have a few pints on me, my friend. Let's
happy
go.
days. Happy days. We just throw Precise in, throw in Ted Noffey, Bentornato. What is the name of the other horse we've got? We got Hope Road. Throw in a bit of Reef Runner. We got your Lucky 31. We'll try and find one for Lucky 63 and then shoot the lights out. We're going to fly to the Breeders' Cup and be there for the final race, the Filly Mare Turf. Tim, bet or bin the favorite, Bentornato?
I have a lot of respect for Bentornato, but I'm going to go ahead and bin Bentornato. Just that it's an improving horse. I mean, you look at his last 5 races. Every race is better and better and better. I just have a lot of love for Copian. I just really like her. And that's the only reason I'm going to bin him, but he can absolutely win. I mean, there's no question about it. He's a remarkable horse, but I'm just going to try and go elsewhere in that race.
Okay. The clock is running against Howard Kravetz, so I'm going to do a brief little rundown with Howard for his. I'm going to get your top bets essentially for Breeders' Cup 2025. So we've got plenty of races to talk about between now and then. The boys will cover that for us. What are the horses you're most looking forward to seeing, and what are the horses you're most looking forward to backing at the Breeders' Cup, Howard?
Well, the races we haven't talked about very quickly. I am absolutely fascinated with Amalok and the Turf. You and I have talked about him really improving. 3-year-old ran faster than Kalandagan by the clock at Ascot on June 20th. I think he's absolutely fascinating there. Ethical Diamond, total roughie underneath as an each way play in that race. I like Diamond Rain in the filling mare Turf, the last race of the day for Godolphin. I do not like the American She Feels Pretty at all. And a lot of the, the favorite can absolutely win that race, but I'm sorry, is it Fire? She's Fire. I apologize. What's the name? It's an Ain horse, right? Drawing a blank now. Sorry for your listeners. The current favorite, anti-post favorite in the filling mare.
Oh, See the Fire.
See the Fire. Can absolutely win, has been facing boys too, but I like Diamond Rain a little bit. In terms of the entire weekend for value, I like Bentornato and Amalok. I think are the two horses that I fancy the most that you will get a price on both of those. But I want to wish everyone a lot of success and luck this weekend for the Breeders' Cup. And again, Emmet, I really want to thank you for allowing all the HHH Racing Podcast talent on. Please go to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and check out our website as well, hhhracingpodcast.com. Cheers, my friend. I'm sorry I'll leave the show, but good luck to everyone. And again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
It's been great having you back on again, Howard. You very kindly emailed me the power picks as well, which I have to go through. And I know you're going to be doing the power picks and the fantastic PDFs between now and Breeders' Cup as well, which is essential, by the way. If you have the opportunity to do that, absolutely take full advantage. Your podcast charted in Ireland last year after your appearance on the Final Front podcast. So I sincerely hope that happens again. It deserves it. It's a fantastic show. You're just like us. You have a bit of fun with this, but you're informative. You're entertaining. It's a class show. So please, God, we'll be teaming up again. Maybe for the Breeders' Cup review, just like last year, which was complete chaos.
I
Howard,
like it. You got it. Done.
Best of luck for the Breeders' Cup.
Thank
and please,
you.
God, we'll talk to you for the review.
Thank you. Cheers. Take care.
Take care. That is the
Bye-bye.
great and powerful Howard Kravetz joining us once again on the Final Furlong podcast. We'll bring back in the top team, Tim Shaw, Charlie Freeman, Ryan Anderson, as we bring you through the final few races for Breeders' Cup 2025. And we'll try and put a bow on this and try and find some more winners. Are there going to be a few big priced ones to find between now and then? Hopefully there will be. We're going to switch our attention to that was the Breeders' Cup Sprint, so we're going to switch to the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Boys, this is a race. Desperately need your help in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. I've watched a lot of American racing this year. I've watched a lot of, my social life has been so exciting. I've been watching a lot of Saratoga's coverage on good old Fox. But is that going to help us at all when it comes to the Distaff? The betting has also come down because now the draw is currently going to be underway. So who would have been? Seismic Beauty would have been favourite for this race. Better been Seismic Beauty. Ryan.
Seismic Beauty, I think, probably would have always been the favorite. Torpedo Anna was recently retired. It's Seismic Beauty. It's a bet. Don't love it, but it's a bet. I say don't love it, not because I'm not confident, but just because I wish, we had that added depth of the Cavaliere and the Torpedo Anna, because this really was, again, shaping up for a really nice Distaff. But unfortunately, we only have the field that we have. Seismic Beauty is going to absolutely blow this field's doors off.
Oh, okay. So Seismic Beauty, that's a definite yes. Another one up on the board for Bob Baffett. Charlie Freeman, bet or bin Seismic Beauty?
It's with great regret that I add to the Baffert hype train. I'm also going to have to bet. I want to get creative. There is a horse in here that I'll talk about in a moment who, to me, I've talked myself into, has a chance, and I will try, to play some sort of reverse exacta where I put Seismic underneath just to get a little creative. But in horizontals and main bets, it'll be all around Seismic Beauty.
Okay, tell us who the other one is.
Dorth Vader. Dorth Vader is the one I've talked myself into that I think is a little bit interesting. This is one who has easily the strongest strength of schedule of any horse in this field, was running against, pretty mischievous and idiomatic, who in her own right was a legend. And then last time out against Torpedo Anna, I know a few of our friends, Ryan, was it Jackson and Noah had tried to beat Torpedo and had one of the worst bad beats ever, where Dorth Vader was incredibly game and lost by a nose. and ran the best effort of her career. And so she'll be one that'll be stalking, but it'll always stay somewhat close and not have too much to do against Seismic Beauty. And, does seem to be getting better even at 5 and is a very game horse. So I would probably mainly play an exacta of her in second, but I don't think she's completely impossible.
Big, very, very positive workout report from Mike Walsh from TRF about Dorothy Vader and just how well she looked in the work. She was really, really impressive apparently, so that'll bode very well for her. And she's a 6-1 shot as we're recording, but bear in mind the draw is now underway, so those prices are going to change with 1xBet. Tim, for you in the Distaff.
I think Seismic Beauty is just faster than anyone else. I think it's just simply on paper. She's just faster, and I think she's the bet. But I think in order to get any value, you're just going to have to find someone underneath and hook her up in some kind of an exotic. But on just pure speed figures alone and pure speed and talent on paper, I just don't see anyone being able to run with her. You keep looking for maybe someone that can jump up. I don't think a horse like Scylla, Close Hatches hasn't produced anything that really wants to win a big race like this. Scottish Lassie, she hinted at being a good horse, but she finished 4th, beaten 2 lengths in the Cotillion at Parks, and I think that race came back pretty slow. I'm not really enthralled with that all too much. So when you just go through this field, who can run with her early and who can run with her late? Nitrogen got beat by Gin in the Spinster, but Gin jumped up and ran a huge race. And Nitrogen, I don't know. She's a lovely horse, but does she have the talent to run with Seismic Beauty? And it was a game battle with Gin in the Spinster. Does she? She'll have to go forward to beat Seismic Beauty. So I think in this race, it's all about trying to get some kind of value underneath. But I think Seismic Beauty goes to the lead, and like when a lot of these Baffert horses make the lead, especially at the home track, they tend to find a second wind and draw off after 3/4 of a mile.
As we're recording, the prices available about Seismic Beauty is 2-1, and she is becoming very quickly one for the exotics for the Lucky 63.
I think 2-1 is pretty generous, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like we're not going to be getting 2-1 on the night, so I think we might just have to get stuck in to Seismic Beauty. Charlie?
Oh, no, I think I was right.
Oh, sorry, right?
It was. I will say the exotic I'm looking forward to playing in this race is an exacta Seismic Beauty over Sarawak Rim. Trained by Nacho Correas, the Argentinian horse. I have no idea what the odds are on this mare, but what I do know, on this filly, she's only 4. What I do know, she's gone 1.25 miles twice, so she certainly has the foundation and the stamina needed to get this distance, given it's been, she's had the summer off in Argentina, so she hasn't run in quite some time. But this is Nacho Correas' final Breeders' Cup as a trainer. He is going to go back to Argentina and train strictly there. So this is it for him. And he picked this runner, brought her here from Argentina, and this is the runner he decides that he's going to run in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Everybody behind Seismic Beauty, you can try and make a case for some of those, but you're much less pressed to make a case against those runners. I think Sarawak Rim, man, that is a tough word to say, can show up on the biggest day, can run her race. I still think her race is only second best, but she's an unknown. She's a fuzzy, and I think that exact is probably going to pay pretty nice.
33-1. 33-1 is the price about her with 1xBet right now, and the ex-Uruguayan Invasor dominated the Breeders' Cup Classic back in the day in a great, what was the name of it?
Seismic Beauty has to be even money here on Saturday, right?
Has to be.
I was going to say, I would say even money 6-5. I also will say quickly, the other one I think though is because we were talking about who's going to be close enough. I do think Nitrogen has sneaky upside in that she was a horse who just toyed with and dominated her turf division, and only recently has tried dirt and has seemingly taken well to it. So again, I agree for the most part it's running for second, but she's the other one I'd give an argument with. And the one slight hesitation I would have on the other two that would probably get looks, which are Gin and Scylla, is Gin. The 2 incredible efforts were at Keeneland. She hasn't been anywhere near the same animal anywhere else, so I would need to see it before I believe it. And then Scylla's a horse I've loved and chased forever, but I just think she's plateaued and peaked already. She just hasn't hit that best buyer, and I know
she's always right around there, isn't she? But she never
Exactly. She could get third or fourth, but she just hasn't had that effort that indicates better. And then Scottish Lassie to me is a horse who just freaked one time, and I guess also freaked in the Frisette way back when, but she also runs way too many duds.
Okay, you are getting 5-star gold-plated analysis for the Breeders' Cup. All we're asking for you in return, smash a like button on this video, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode of the Final Furlong podcast. It's a big help to us with the algorithm. Just do what Ryan did. Punch your screen. That's not going to work. Smash the like button. No refunds on your screens. Don't complain to us. Hey, but he told me. Instead, just smash that like button for us. Hit the subscribe button as well so you never miss an episode of the Final Furlong podcast. And if you're in Ireland and you're a little bit frustrated with a bookmaker, maybe, I don't know, maybe let's say you took 11-2 about a horse that was available on a great odds comparison website. And every other bookmaker had gone, I don't know, say hypothetically, they'd gone 9-2. And then that bookmaker, because your bet wins, shuts you down because you had the audacity to take 11-2. That's the kind of thing that would annoy you. Now, I don't think that 1xBet would do that, but I can't guarantee that they won't. But I'm pretty certain they won't do that. So get your bets on now. If you're a bit frustrated or you're looking for a new bookmaker, 1xBet.ie is the place to go in Ireland. Bet 10, get €30 in free bets, 18 plus only. Terms and conditions apply. Be gamble aware. Obviously, play responsibly. 1xBet knows the crack. Bet with your head, not above it. Bet 10, get €30 for the Breeders' Cup this weekend. I'm pretty sure 1xBet will look after you right here in Ireland. And it's all in good fun. It's all a bit of crack as X goes into complete and total meltdown. All right, the big one on grass, the Breeders' Cup Turf, a race that Aidan O'Brien has won 7 times, most recently with Auguste Rodin in 2023. Thank you, Gerard, for coming off the rail and giving us that gap. That worked out beautifully. But the question for you, Ryan, and for everybody else is, bet or bin ARC runner-up Minnie Hauk?
Bin. I would like the old man. So I'm going to say bin.
Charlie?
Oh my God, this race is so tough. There's a few I'm between, so I'm for now I'm gonna lean towards bet because that's where I'm at right now. But I would not it wouldn't be as simple as to just single this horse. There's a few I'm really intrigued in, and it's not the old man.
Oh, no prizes for guessing. We're gonna be talking about Rebels Romance in a second. Tim Shaw, bet or bin the ARC runner-up Minnie Hauk?
My heart wants to bet, but I'm gonna go ahead and bin.
Yeah, I think I am too. I really like her. She's obviously a fantastic filly. That was a brilliant race in the ARC, but it was also a gut-busting race.
When you think about a 3-year-old and fillies in particular, the ARC wasn't that long ago, and I know Aidan O'Brien was able to do it with Found. I know she ran in the ARC and then came to America and won the Breeders' Cup, but I think that it takes a special kind of horse, and she may well be, but I think it's a rare kind of special horse that she probably, if she did it, she would be in that rare air. But, to run that race in France, and that was a hard race, and then to ship halfway around the world in, what is it, is it 3 weeks time, right? It's not very long.
It's about that.
You're asking a lot. And she could very well do it, but as the favorite, if you're asking me if I'm going to bet or bin, my heart wants to bet her, but I think I'm going to have to bin her and go elsewhere.
Okay, well, Highland Real was runner-up to Found in the ARC and then came out and won the Breeders' Cup Turf. Found extraordinarily the year before, ran in the ARC, was beaten 5 lengths by Golden Horn, then ran in the Champion Stakes, and then came to the Breeders' Cup Turf, and that was the Grade 1 she won where she beat Golden Horn. So it's not like Aidan O'Brien can't have these horses freshened up and ready to go.
Oh, he can, for sure, yeah.
But that was a gut-busting race, and it's not... Kalpana shaped very well, but was trapped on the white outside and was beaten a fair way out. So she didn't have the hard race that Minnie Hauk had, and that was a gut-buster between her and Darius. But if she can do it, then fantastic. The old boy, Rebels Romance, going for his 3rd win in the Breeders' Cup Turf. He missed it in 2023, but he won in 2022. He won again last year. Dominant performance. Is that who you're going to be siding with, Ryan?
I think so. I mean, he has done nothing wrong. Going into last year, I was so against Rebels Romance. Obviously, the main stat of, 0 for whatever for 6-year-olds and upward in the Breeders' Cup Turf and 50 plus, exactly. And it was like, okay, well, clearly that's a huge sample size, similar to the Kentucky Downs shippers. Those are going to stay as offers because there's clearly something that just doesn't work. And then Rebels Romance made such a strong middle move, sustained it, held on towards the end. And then he's come back this year to do absolutely nothing wrong. He's ran banger after banger race. I have to take him going back on the turf that I know he knows and loves. He loves the firm ground. He loves hearing his feet roll and loves hearing his hooves up underneath him. So yeah, it's Rebels Romance, and it sounds like I'm getting the second choice, which that's even better.
Yeah, you're getting 11-4. He has been cut to 5-2 by a number of firms, but 11-4 is available about a horse who's trying to emulate. In fact, you can get 3-1. There is 3-1 available as we're recording. I don't know if that's going to hold up, and we'll see what draw he gets. He's trying to emulate Goldakova, who won 3 Breeders' Cup miles. Can he win 3 Breeders' Cup turfs, Charlie?
I don't think so. And I think what scares me, even though actually I was on him last year, what worries me is he's one that naturally likes to be a little more forward and discussing some of these others that interest. I just don't think he's going to be alone in that in terms of other serious contenders, and that could cause trouble for him. I know I'm leaning towards Minnie Hauk, who I still am and who will still be fairly forward, probably a little further back stalking. But the other two I've given a real look at in terms of one that'll be a little more off maybe is Amalok. Who's another young one that Howard had talked about that he liked a lot. And I've listened to a lot of what people have had to say. And so this one's really talked me into this race. So for me, it's going to be a race where I go a few deep and just pick one of the two main favorites to use. And I'm going to toss Rebels Romance. And then the other one, and I think, it was you who I was watching talk quite a bit about that's interesting to me a little bit, is also Goliath.
Yeah.
Who, beat Rebels Romance in the past and is another one who's going to be forward. And that just worries me. Aside from Rebels Romance being 7, I understand he's done nothing wrong and it's no knock on him. But my worry is, again, last year, the other horses that were forwardly placed were long shots that you weren't like, oh, wow, they're going to just go the whole stretch around with him and make him work for it. It was the closers who tried to catch him, and Rebels Romance made the first move and was alone. This year, there's going to be other contenders right there with him. And that scares me a little bit. So for me, I'm going against Rebels Romance. Has done nothing wrong, incredible career, but those are the 3 I'm interested in, is Amalok, Goliath, and Minnie Hauk.
There's going to have to be some bet that has Rebels Romance in it, but that's going to be the heart ruling the head bet. And I have to do it because if he wins 3 in a row, you're supposed to be able to be man enough to just go, isn't that great? Fantastic. I would be sick if he wins the 3rd Breeders' Cup turf and I didn't benefit from it in some way. But I'm finding it really difficult to get away from Goliath. And Adam Mills has tried to warn me and say, no, he's not the same horse. He's too big and he's too burly. He's a national hunt horse. He won't be suited by this race at all. He's so big and powerful. That's a huge run in Germany last day, and I think that Group 1 form is way stronger than what Rebels Romance did in his German Group 1. Straight's a pretty consistent horse, but the key one is Dubai Honor. Dubai Honor is a really solid Group 1 performer, and he came out of that race and finished second, splitting 2 very exciting horses in Yellow Jersey, who Oisin Murphy rode for Andre Fabre, and the winner, Convergent, who's a really exciting horse for Carl Burke, and I think is going to be a proper Group 1 performer next season. So that form is telling you he's back to something like the performance you saw when he bolted up in the King George a year ago. And on that day, he thrashed Rebels Romance, but he also beat Blue Stocking, who would come out and win the Vermeil and go and obviously win the Arc, Europe's most prestigious middle distance race in the year. That's an RPR of 124 for his win in Germany last time out. In between all of this is a complete and spectacular blowout behind Calandigan, but he's beaten 40 lengths. That can't possibly be his true running. Don't really understand what happened to him in the Group 3 at Deauville because he looks all set to win and then suddenly folds like a cheap deck chair. Maybe he just needed the recovery process. And then Germany is where you're starting to see him come back to himself. And now this is a race where he'll come back again and produce, hopefully, a massive effort. Is there enough pace in this race, Charlie? Do you think they're going to get a strong pace in this race?
I do think there is. I think this is one of those interesting ones where it's a longer turf race, and yet I do think there is going to be quite a bit of pace. And there's a few I have looked at underneath, but for me, none of the closers. And I mean, you could ask Ryan or anybody on the podcast. I'm a sucker for closers. I'm normally, if anything, biased that way. I just don't think any of them are good enough to necessarily win here. The 2 I did give a look at, though, were El Cadorbis and then Ethical Diamond. Those were the 2 I gave a real look at that will be closing from off the pace. El Cadorbis was a horse I was on in his American debut, which is normally, as Ryan also knows, an angle I hate, is normally horses in their first start in America, I think, run poorly, and you wait for the second start. But he was very impressive there. But then he was handled pretty easily by Rebels Romance. And then again, Ethical Diamond, I know you talked, and this is what caught my attention. I'm hearing everything you had to say about how impressive he's gone from being a hurdler to getting to here. Certainly something to admire. And again, I think either of them could close up at a decent price to get, 3rd maybe, but I don't think either of them, even with the setup, are good enough to go by those that'll be ahead.
Yeah, I agree. And you need Group 1 form. You need to be a Group 1 performer to win the Breeders' Cup turf, and he just doesn't have that. Now, to be fair, he hasn't had the opportunities, but it's going to be pretty extraordinary if your horse beaten in the County Hurdle and the Scottish Grand National comes out and beats Rebels Romance and Minnie Hauk in the Breeders' Cup turf. So purely from exotic perspectives, I'd be looking at him. But the reason I was asking about the pace is when he got an end-to-end gallop in the King George, he blitzed them. And I think Goliath is going to get an end-to-end gallop in this race. And the price differential between him and Rebels Romance, when you weigh up the strength of those German Group 1s, the respective races this season, and what Goliath did to Rebels Romance in last year's King George, it's just too big a price. You're getting 10-1 about Goliath. I've backed him already.
Really?
I'm going to... That's the thing. That's the thing, Charlie. 10-1 is the price that was available about Goliath as we're recording. You can still get it. You can get it across the board. In fact, there's a couple of firms who've cut him to 8-1. So
and then what's Minnie Hauk and Amalok?
10-11 Minnie Hauk. Amalok is 16-1.
Okay, yeah. For me, then if I could retract the better bin at 10-11, that's outrageous. I would bin 20 times. I thought the horse was like 2-1, which I still would. Now that I know the odds on Goliath and Amalok would bin, honestly, I would just hammer Amalok and Goliath at those odds. That's highway robbery 10-1 and 16-1, and just either hope Goliath wires them or Amalok heads that nice stalking trip on the other 3 battling out and goes by. I would just use those 2 horses and hope and enjoy my free money and a lot of it.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're getting the first and second and getting the absolute sweep. Rebels Romance stays on to third, carried out in his shields. Great performance.
I'm okay with that.
Happy with that. Hey, if he goes and shoots the board out, then at least if Amalok and Goliath are second and third, we'll still make a lot of money. But I'm going to side with you guys on Amalok. It was a very strong case made for him with Davy Lane and Howard the other night on their show. And I'm not going to disagree with that. I think cutting back to fast ground, but also back to 12 furlongs is going to suit him a lot better. Hasn't kind of been a season to forget for Rafe Beckett, really, but maybe he's going to shoot the lights out at the end of the season. Tim, for you, Breeders' Cup Turf, better bin Minnie Hauk, and overall, who are you with?
We're going to bin Minnie Hauk. I just don't think there's enough value here for this particular race. Rebels Romance, I've always been a fan. I was on an Irish podcast last year, the Final Furlong podcast, and I picked Rebels Romance, and I got laughed at. I 0 for 50, 6-year-old, over 6-year-old, this, that, the other thing. He's 20 for 29. He's made $14 million. He got beat 3 lengths to Calandagan, who's probably one of the best turf horses in the world, and Calpana as well. And he was in tight there 2 furlongs out. He didn't get the best trip there in the King George at Ascot. So other than that, I mean, his record this year looks every bit as strong as it was last year. He ran a 106 Buyer speed figure win in the Breeders' Cup Turf last year. He won a 106 in the Turf Classic at Aqueduct, where he prepped for this. I think the value here is probably with the Europeans, with Amalok, Rebels Romance, and Goliath, especially if Amalok is 16-1. That's a huge price, because what has that horse done wrong? Al Rifa is a real horse that beat him in the St. Leger 4 legs. So,
and that was on soft ground over.
Yeah, that was on
14 furlongs.
Soft ground. Yeah, so the value here might be some type of exotic. And maybe you throw Minnie Hauk out altogether, and then you'll get handsomely paid for an exacta with these 3 horses here with Amalok, Rebels Romance, and Goliath. But I would probably side more towards Rebels Romance and Amalok, top 2. But I have a lot of respect for Goliath as well.
Aidan, you're a genius.
I just the German form on Goliath, I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah, I can understand that, but Gaffard has won the Arc. He's won the Champion Stakes. He's got 12 Group 1s this season. The man's an absolute genius, and I think he's got that horse back. Aidan, you're a genius. We're looking forward to seeing Minnie Hauk next year. Maybe this is the race where we just take you on and do very well out of it.
Am I going to give Minnie Hauk a look at 5-1? Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think
that, she's automatic bet if she's 5s.
Yeah, but I think that at 10-11, you just is that what you said? 10-11.
Yeah, 10-11.
They just have to leave it alone.
I would say if she was running in the Philly and Mare Turf at 10-11, we'd have a lot more of a discussion in a much weaker field. I would have. To me, in this field, no one should be shorter than 3-1. I just think this is a really talented field.
Yeah. This is a better Breeders' Cup Turf than last year, which is maybe another reason to be slightly concerned about Rebels Romance. However, I find it a little bit odd that Charlie Appleby has only had 10 runners in the last 2 weeks. But here's his statistics: 7 of his last 10 runners have won, and the other 3 have all placed. Second, beaten half a length. Second, beaten 2 1/4 lengths. Third, beaten 1 1/4 lengths. Charlie Appleby coming into the Breeders' Cup in absolute red-hot form, and that's going to be music to William Buick and to Rebels Romanciers. Breeders' Cup Turf, done and dusted for you. Definitely a race to be taken a swing at with exotics. Hopefully we're going to make quite a few quid. We're going to jump to the Breeders' Cup Mile. We've got a Charlie Appleby favourite. Better bin, notable speech. You know my feelings on this one. Ryan Anderson.
Straight in the bin.
Charlie.
Oh, this is one I've really struggled with. I'm gonna bin. I'm really hesitant on it, but I'm gonna bin.
Tim.
Bin.
Get in the bin.
Yeah, the loss to Diego Velasquez just sticks out on paper. That's a second or third string Valley Doyle horse that they cast off. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. And you know the race in Woodbine, he did get back to form in Woodbine, but I'm not sure he really beat this type of form up there.
Any of this,
so I'm
lot
gonna
would
go
have
ahead
won
and
that
bin.
race.
Yeah,
Any of them would have won this race. What did I say to you before that, Ryan? He was even money. He's an absolute stone cold certainty. I'm even less enthusiastic about him now on the back of that win. Okay, Ryan, we're taking on notable speech. He couldn't win it last year. Why would he win it this year as a 4-year-old? Who are we going to take him on with, though?
Yeah, top pick, absolute top pick is Rhetorical. I think this horse is going to be the other chance for the realistic chance for Will Walden to get his first Breeders' Cup win. You can forget Gordon Pass. I think that's a very live long shot. This is not going to be that big of a long shot. Rhetorical, I think, can absolutely get the job done, has done nothing wrong, just won the mile at Keeneland in a very nice and professional way. That's going to be my top pick. But if you could help me out, what are the odds on Rhetorical, Jonquil, and Shaylon? Because I would like to box those three and just move on from this race.
Okay, Shaylon is into 13-2 since we spoke the other night from 8-1. Okay. Rhetorical is clipped to 8-1 by a couple of firms, but 10-1 is available with 1xbet, and Jonquil is bouncing between 14 and 12-1.
Easy, yeah. I'm going to use those three only in horizontals. And I'm going to play the rare exacta box with those three, toss notable speech into the water, into the Pacific Ocean. And I am just going to, I'm going to enjoy those three running 1-2 in some order.
No offense, Charlie, but that form is just absolute rubbish. Himself, Rosalian, it's always an excuse for why they get beaten. So we're going to take him on, Charlie, but who are you taking him on with?
I did not know how to say this horse's name, so I'm happy Ryan has this one in his box. I was going to say Solon. Okay, Shaylon. It's not spelled Shaylon, but it's good to know. So that's the one who just edged out the Lion and Winter.
French, Charlie. You can't get it wrong. Just say it with confidence and you'll be fine.
All right, Shaylon. I'm going with that one. I was very impressed with that effort. I think, I know he's a 3-year-old. I think he's rapidly getting better. I was really torn between going with this one and the Lion and Winter, and I would definitely use both. I was a little surprised to hear that Ryan's not using that one at all. My slight concern with the Lion in Winter is he's had so many where he's been so close that it makes me a little scared, but I like how tactical he is. But I just think Shaylon's getting better and better. I thought his last two efforts in particular were just such big steps up from the rest of the form. And I agree with you. I mean, I thought notable speech looked dominant. And I do think naturally, just that he was in this race last year that had a lot of talent and nearly did it. So you could argue from some of that, and he has some, lost Diego Velasquez. There's some arguments that he's the horse to beat, but that Woodbine field was just awful. I mean, my boy Prince is a cool local horse for Woodbine, but he would be 250-1 in this race and ran second. I mean, he beat absolutely nobody. It's Appleby and Dolphins, so I don't know what the odds are on it, but I know they're going to be bad on notable speech. So for me, I do agree with Ryan. I think it's important. I know you would be naturally asking us as the Americans, if you asked who's the American horse that we think could upset the Euros, I think the only one that has a chance to do it for us is Rhetorical. I think Rhetorical has incredible upside. I think he's always been well meant, was running against state breds for the longest time, and they had the stones to send him into a grade 1 blindly after running in cheap stakes races against state bred restricted and got the job done. He's tactical. So for me, the main three I would be using are Shaylon, Rhetorical, and the Lion in Winter. I do think Jonquil's a little interesting though.
Yeah, I find Jonquil interesting for the exotics point of view, and Shaylon is the one I'm with as well. The French form tends to translate quite well to the Breeders' Cup Mile. Tim, for you?
I find Johannes quite interesting here. If you look at his form, his only bad race lately has been a race there in the 4-star Dave in Saratoga, where for whatever reason he got bumped and was ranked into the first turn and was essentially out of it. But he's run speed figures here that are competitive. He's 9 for 15, 7 of 5 or 7 at the distance, and this is his home track. California horse and Tim Yakteen is more than capable. I think this horse can sit, and I think he can pounce, and you can see in his PPs that he does finish well. And he's always right there. I mean, he got beat 3/4 of a length in the Breeders' Cup Mile last year to More Than Looks, and he beat Notable Speech last year. So if you think Notable Speech is well, if the morning line people think Notable Speech is the morning line favorite here, or the horse to bet here, this horse just got beat 3/4 of a length to him and has seemed to continue his form bar one race in Saratoga. Other than that, it's pretty darn good. His last, right down the page. There's a lot of 1s and 2s here. In grade 2s, grade 1s, grade 2s, the City of Hope there at Santa Anita, he was 1-5 and he didn't beat anybody, but that's a confidence booster right there. So what are they talking about price wise for him?
10-1 Johannes, 2-1 Notable Speech.
Yeah. So I think 10-1 on Johannes, who just beat Notable Speech last year and seems to be the same horse this year that he was last year. I think there's a lot of value here, but like we've spoken about, I think this race is loaded with talent. So you could throw a dart and get the right horse here, but I'm quite interested in Johannes here. That's what I would go with.
10-1 on Johannes right now.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be 9-2.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason I wouldn't want him. If he's 10-1 come post time, absolutely
This is gonna be Umberto Rispoli's Breeders' Cup win on Saturday, I think.
This is why you need to get to Ireland, Ryan. This is why we need to get you over to Ireland, Dublin Racing Festival, Irish Champions Weekend, get Charlie over, get Tim over, get down to the Listowel Harvest Festival.
I love a good Guinness too.
Loads of Guinness, but more importantly, big odds, better odds, and you can actually get guaranteed price. Well, in theory, you can get guaranteed price. Maybe if you take guaranteed price with certain firms, you'll get thrown out. The Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Hey, it's all a bit of a laugh. If we can't laugh, then we're all going to go completely insane, aren't we? Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, the grade 1, Nisos is the 7-4 favourite. Shout out our boy, Bob Baffett, after getting slated at the start of the show. Now he's got another big gun. Bet or bin, the favourite in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, Nisos. Ryan.
I hope this horse is in the gate. Absolute bet. Absolute bet. This horse is a freak of nature. Bet.
Charlie.
Yeah, I'm sad that he's not able to run in the Classic, but I understand why they had to go down this path. This is a race we could talk about pretty shortly. It's a 1-horse race. Nisos by as much as he wants, but
correct.
Anything's value. 7-4 is outrageous.
3-5 is value on that horse.
I would take 4-5 because my rule cardinal sin is never to bet less than 4-5. But 3-5 Matt Miller. If you're doing that, I wouldn't blame him.
Yep. Those of you counting, we're now looking at Hope Road, Bentornato. I know some of you don't agree, but shout out Howard. Seismic Beauty, possibly Reef Runner. Nisos is just going in as an absolute stone cold solid moral. Nisos, Tim Shaw, are you with or against?
With. Again, he looked $1 million in the videos that I've seen on TV. You can't ask a horse to look any better than this horse does. He's got the speed figures, he's got the trainer, he's got everything going for him. And like we keep talking about in some of these other races, who's going to run with him? Who can really run with him? I mean, there's horses in here that are just past their prime. Mystic Dan, come on, Mystic Dan. I'd love to have him, but he's White Abario, horses like that. I just don't. He's Nisos is the horse to beat in here, and like we've talked about, I don't see anybody beating him.
If I could be just his Nisos's works are compared. I'm not trying to make this comparison. When you watch his works and you watch the works of Flightline, they are being compared to one another with how fluid he is in his transition from just, a walk into the jog into the work itself, the fluidity of how he moves. Now he's He is as fragile as China. So you have to be careful with him. But if he makes the gate, he has done nothing wrong, and he is a freak of a horse. So I would say the only bet you need, unfortunately, I don't have this capability in the U.S., but you probably do. You just parlay Precise, Seismic Beauty, and Nisos, and that's it. That's all you need for the weekend.
Damn.
And those three, I think, have to be the three surest winners on the card. Nisos by as much as he wants.
So
Yeah, I believe that.
Nisos, Precise, and
Seismic Beauty in the Distaff.
Okay.
I would put Ted Knopf in there personally, but that would be my choice.
I just don't want to trust a 2-year-old on dirt that's American.
No, and that's fair. And I mean,
Which is
for
the
vibes,
only
I'd put
reason.
Reef Runner, but I don't think he's that. I also will say quickly.
I would put Reef Runner.
I said for vibes. I mean, that would be like in your €5 bet, not the main one, the hammer bet. No, but and then I will say quickly, the other one that intrigues me, not to win, but potentially exacta. I think, and I'm curious what Ryan thinks is, another Baffert horse. I think Goal Oriented is a pretty impressive and interesting horse. I don't think he's anywhere near Nisos level, but I think if you're looking for upside for an exacta, I agree with what Tim's been saying. I just think Mystic Dan, he's found his form back, but I just don't think he's all that. I love White Abario, Gulfstream legend, but we're not at Gulfstream, and he's not the same horse when he leaves Gulfstream. I know he won the Classic, but we won't get into why he won the Classic, but he was just, let's just say he was a different horse at that time, and he's not that horse now. I don't know what caused it, but he had something going his way, and I had him in that race as a result. But I do think Goal Oriented is a very impressive horse who was going against the best 3-year-olds in the country in journalism and Baeza and was right there. So it wouldn't surprise me if he ran a nice second. And I know, Emmet, you're waiting for my thoughts on Citizen Bull. I don't know why Baffert bothered bringing him here. He had 2 horses that looked so nice, and he had to taint his own reputation by bringing that garbage animal Citizen Bull. But he can, I guess, stop by to say hi. And we can get him out of there.
I'll take him.
Oh, and I also want to say he ran a really. I just want to remind everybody he ran huge in the Derby, 15th by 33 lengths. He lost to who was the horse Ryan that ran 4th that none of us liked? That Flying Dutchman owned.
Oh God.
Why am I blanking on?
I can't even remember off the top of my head. That was too funny.
And then that horse ended up. He lost to that horse by like 30 lengths. If you're wondering how good Citizen Bull is.
Was it Publisher?
No, it was
Owen Almighty.
Yes, Owen
That's
Almighty.
the one.
Owen Almighty.
First lost to Owen Almighty by like 30 lengths. If you're wondering how good Citizen Bull is. Sorry, go ahead. I just had to. You knew, Emmet, I was going to have to throw a dig at Citizen Bull in at some point. Something would be wrong if I did it.
The first time I asked Charlie about Citizen Bull, I think was it the Breeders' Cup a year ago, or was it just after that?
No. It was for the Derby. It was going into the Derby.
It was coming into the Kentucky Derby, and he said, and I quote, He proved last time out that he's the bum I always knew he was, and he'll continue to prove he's a bum."
I did say that, and then he went. I was right.
It was from that moment on. Charlie had an open invitation to the Final Furlong podcast for forever on the back of that. Pretty sensational stuff. Okay, that's the Dirt Mile. It looks like we've got another banker to be looking forward to, and then that brings us to our final race, the Filly and Mare Turf, which is an intriguing running, and Minnie Hauk would absolutely lap this lot. But the favourite is See the Fire. Better bin See the Fire. Ryan.
Bet. Everything I've heard about this horse is that she is a very real runner. I am also very much against. She feels pretty in this spot. Also, I know this is a separate topic. They're doing the draw right now. The very first horse in the draw is the Juvenile Turf Sprint. True Love got post 9.
Good or bad?
That's fine.
Okay.
I would be happy with that.
Okay.
I'd say 5. I'd say 4 to 9.
To stick on the question, I will be betting See the Fire. Yes.
And your horse, Cypher, just got stalled 10 there in that Juvenile Phillies Turf.
Shit. That's not great.
Are you kidding me? Oh, no.
Okay.
That's not great.
Yeah, stall 10 for Cypher. Havana Anna.
So
Lenny Lou got 12.
And we know okay. Well, there goes my 2 horses. That's really. Wait. What did Schwarzenegger get? That's important.
Not yet.
Let's find out.
I'll call it out when it happens. We have all completely.
Let's find out in real time here, shall we?
Oh, this is so bad.
So we're going to please hold, caller. Your call is very important to us here at Final Furlong Podcast Towers. So we're going to add this in to the mix just for the sheer torture chamber That was.
I can't believe my 2 horses got such bad positions. Ryan, we're in shambles right now.
Oh, this is bad.
Yeah, Tim, that was the horses us 3 gave out. Were
Yeah, that was it.
Sidefair, and that's the post we. That's brutal.
If Schwarzenegger gets the nice.
Okay, I don't mind.
11 for
military
Schwarzenegger.
code for the stable.
I actually like that.
Magic in 2022.
Thank you, Nick. We'll leave you off. So military code gets 2. Schwarzenegger gets 11. Cypher 10. Linaloo 12. Aspect Island, who I think is very interesting, and gets Frankie for the first time.
I think it's a good post.
Stall 4. Bolted up in a nursery and then ran really well in a Group 2 last time out. Brussels. Sumion's going to ride Brussels. Say what? So Wade Lordan is going to ride True Love, because I predicted that on your show the other night, Ryan.
He did. He did.
And Sumion rides Brussels, comes out of stall 1. Okay.
Boy. Post 9, 10, 11, and 12 are my top 4 picks in the race.
Wow.
Well, I will say I don't think for Schwarzenegger getting that far outside is the complete end of the world, because if he's as fast as I think he is, where he just closes and gets all the way over and away, it could be worse if he got Citizen Bold and there was a horse on the inside and then slammed into him immediately. So I will say, because of that, it's not as drastic for him, but I will say Ryan Farr 2 longer prices that we liked in Lenny Lou and Cypher. That's pretty bad. That was not what we
All
wanted.
I can say is that Saez on Lenny Lou is a good thing, because he is going to be aggressive. Lenny Lou is not slow. So there's a chance with Schwarzenegger being the speed that he is, he clears off. And Lenny Lou is able to get in the 2 path, maybe to the rail from being aggressive, and sits in that second fight sort of thing. But
So what does Cypher do?
Cypher's fucked. Cypher should run next year. Don't even show up. 10 for that horse. Can't do it.
And then what do we, I'm debating how I feel about Brussels in the 1 spot, because he is going to be one from coming out of it, and he'll get to save the ground on the rail. That makes him, to me, a little bit more interesting, as long as he doesn't get crushed.
Christoph Simeon, he's not scared to scrape a little pain, is he?
I'm wondering, are we going to end up getting a bigger price about True Love now coming out of stall 9 and Wayne Lordan, which, by the way, will be a mistake, because Wayne Lordan's a class jockey.
I don't think so. I don't think that. I don't think so. Post 9's not bad enough. Post 9 is not maybe the ideal, but it's not bad. I will say it gives you, if you are looking to beat True Love, that is a post where you can do it from.
Okay.
I will say the one thing that would make it a little hesitant, though, is, at least for our perspective, that the main horses that we were just touting, and who I do think would have gotten bet down a little from the American bettors, did not draw good gates at all in Lenny Lou and Cypher. So I do think that works towards True Love a little bit more and could impact the betting.
Okay, Juvenile Fillies, Aaron Richard gets 1, Battle of Rouge gets 2, Tommy Joe gets 5, LaVille Lemire 6, Explorer
Percy's
7.
Bar gets 4.
Okay, I'm okay with that with Percy's Bar. 1 on debut in the 4-hole.
Yeah. This is going to be a race where, when they turn for home, the 4 of us walking at a brisk pace would get home first. They are going to be swimming the last quarter of a mile. I mean, yeah.
Owen Almighty literally was crawling and still finished 4th in the Derby.
Correct.
So you can crawl and still finish at a high position.
I finished 5th. Gambit got 4th.
5th, sorry, yeah, but nonetheless, I mean, he was going back to the race we were on.
Yes, Billy Mare Turf.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Sorry, folks. I will use See the Fire in a race that I think is pretty open, but I'm gonna bin that horse, because I have a horse who I don't feel confident in, yet I also feel confident in. So I don't know what to make. This race has my head in a pretzel. It's a tough race for me. I wish Minnie Hauk would have just been in here and won it 2-5, and we could have just kept it easy.
Yeah, come on, Aiden. You can still do it if you want, but they're not going to. Tim, who are you with in the Philly Mare Turf? For or against, bet or bin See the Fire?
I'm going to bin See the Fire.
That sounded like a torture chamber.
Yeah, well, I just keep going through it. The horse I like, the horse I'm really looking here is Diamond Rain. Just second in the EP Taylor to see. She feels pretty, but Charlie Appleby's horse here. First time out of Europe and into Canada. That was a really, really, really good race, and She Feels Pretty is a definite starter, right?
Yes, she is, but the team are all very much against her. Are you against her?
I'm against her because I'm going Diamond Rain and See the Fire. That's where I think I'm going to go.
Okay.
I'm just all over the place here. I just think that you See the Fire. I mean, she's faced some of the best boys in Europe. I mean, she ran with Ombudsman and twice and wasn't really outclassed by him, and he's one of the top boys in Europe. And the Prix de l'Opera. I mean, but again, I'm kind of contradicting myself because, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I think it's tough for a filly, especially a filly, to turn around from ARC weekend and come all the way to California to the Breeders' Cup. I think it takes a special kind of filly, and she's 3 for 16. So I'm contradicting myself the whole way around. So I'm really glad I'm helping out here because I'm just confusing myself as we go along. But I like Diamond Rain. How's that? Well, I'm going to go with Diamond Rain in here.
Okay,
That's the way I'm going to go.
I would
here.
much prefer Diamond Rain to Cinderella's Dream as well, for that matter. Ryan, who are you with?
I'm going to be using See the Fire. I will probably use a little bit of Diamond Rain, but primarily it's going to be See the Fire and Bedtime Story for me.
Okay, and Charlie?
Yeah, I hate this pick. I don't want to use this. I don't like that they put this race here. I wish they could have put it in a place where I just don't have to bet this race. I'm going to reluctantly go with She Feels Pretty. Can she get the distance? I don't know. Did she only narrowly win her last few races after being dominant? Yes. Is there a lot of concerns that she's going to lose this race? Yes. But every time I go through this race, to me, I always...
Fuck. That's
not great.
Apologies.
Give me the 6.
Kids.
Switch in love.
Cover your ears, children. Stall 13 for
That's not
Precise
great.
and Christoph Simeon in the juvenile full serve.
For me, this is one of those races. Now, normally this happens to me when I'm betting bad Gulfstream races in the summer, not a race like this, but where you look at a question on a test and you don't know the right answer, so you start trying to cross out the ones that you feel are definitely wrong. And I was doing that and accidentally ended up at She Feels Pretty. And, okay. Wait a minute. Does that say Flavian Pratt's on Infinite Sky?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm putting bad money on that horse. That horse went from Luan Machado, who I said I like. That horse went from Luan Machado to Flavian Pratt. I know you didn't get to ask me, Emmet, but one of the questions you had to prep us for was if it matters if a horse gets moved up to a certain jockey or other jockey, if that makes you higher or lower on a horse. That is a prime example of a bomb who I already liked using the exactas underneath, who I will now definitely be betting with the bad gate of Precise, some money on top. I think Infinite Sky is sneaky. And now with that massive jockey upgrade from Luan Machado, who doesn't know where the wire is, to Flavian Pratt, who's the best rider in America, I will definitely be doing that. In this race,
that's not even a joke. He doesn't know where the wire is all the time.
It's true. But I'm going to use She Feels Pretty, Diamond Rain, and See the Fire. I don't like this race at all.
Okay.
Those 3.
Who is your, as we watch the draw for the Breeders' Cup, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile is about to be drawn. Okay. Who are the best bets for the team? So what I've got here is huge confidence for Ted Nafi. There was huge confidence for Precise. I really like your reaction to her getting drawn in stall 13. That seems like an absolute massive confidence in Hope Road. Shout out Howard Kravetz. He was all over Bentornato. Seismic Beauty, everyone's keen on. Nice Sauce, everybody's extremely keen on. Charlie, you're big on Reef Runners. So if there was a 6-horse multiple bet to do, right? So you guys do the pick 6. We do Lucky 63s over here, Lucky 31s. If you're doing a multiple bet where you're going to be combining these horses in different races, what would your 6 horses be? Ryan Anderson.
Are we doing win only? Correct?
We can do win only or each way. So that would be win, place, show.
Let's do win only.
Okay. Okay. All right.
We go big here.
All right.
We ain't playing around.
I am now going to skip the turf and skip Precise. I don't like 13.
Okay.
I'm not saying that I won't bet her on the day, but that hurts. I will go Ted Nafi as my first.
Okay.
Into Hope Road. Let me find the sequence of races so I don't go out of order here. To Hope Road, to Seismic Beauty, to Rebels Romance, into, do I want to do Into Sovereignty? Do I want to do Into Sovereignty? I do. Into Sovereignty.
Damn.
Oh, into Nisos. Sorry. That's the last one.
Okay, so are you going to stall 8 for Ted Noffey, by the way? Everybody happy with that?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Clear trip. He's just going to sit and have a clear trip. Losing ground on dirt, not nearly as big of a deal. Question for you, Emmett. Sorry, before we continue. For Precise, what do you anticipate her running style being? Like, where in the race is she going to be?
Well,
through the first quarter.
I was saying the other night, you can basically put her wherever you want, but
okay.
Now I'm not so sure. He's going to be
do
forced.
You feel like she might?
He's going to be forced to be held up. So, Ronan Whelan rode her reasonably handy. She was in touch with the leaders in the Moigler, which was her first Group 1, and she just comes down the outside. But where she was really impressive was where Christoph holds her up in the Phillies Mile. So she came from off the pace in that race and just blitzed them.
Okay.
So I don't think they would worry too much about having to come for a run, like hold her up between horses, especially if there's plenty of pace. But you're now riding for luck, which that's never good. But
I feel like she can win with a 2-wide trip at Del Mar, like from anywhere in the field, as long as she has a little bit of cover going around there. But that draw really worries me.
I feel like she has a class edge over the field, for sure.
For sure, which is why I would give her the 2-wide edge. But I think Switch and Love is going to get a lot of play for me. Same with Infinite Sky. But I will still play Precise as an A, for sure. But I don't think I can single her anymore.
Stall 12 was second last year. Stall 11 was fourth. And none of them were a match for Lake Victoria, who came out of a single figure gate.
Correct.
There's hope. There's hope.
There is hope.
And that, of course, was at Del Mar.
Street Beast got the 2. That's not good.
Oh, dear.
That's, by the way, Ted Noffey drew the furthest outside post for the 4th consecutive race.
And it still can't stop him. It still can't stop him. Okay, so to sum up your multiple bet, Ryan, you're going to go with?
Yes. I'm going to go with Ted Noffey into Hope Road, into Seismic Beauty, into Sovereignty, into Nisos. I think that's all of them.
Okay.
I think that's all the ones I wanted to say.
Rebels Romance.
Into and Rebels Romance. Thank you.
Rebels Romance.
And here's Johnny got the 13. Oh, I'm sorry. This race is not going well for me.
This is
That's two of my long shots just getting awful gates.
Well, hey, Nene just got 13, so that's not good for...
Oh, wait, never mind. They switched it. It wasn't my horse. It wasn't
Oh, no!
No, that's good. Well, it's not good for Tim, but they made
not good for Tim. Okay, Tim Shaw.
Outfield. Oh, my God. Okay, sorry. Street Beast is not going to finish the race. Okay, forget that pick.
Outfielder gets 3. Street Beast gets 2. This is the juvenile turf. We're really looking to see where Stad gets because we want to know.
Stop.
Give him the 1. Give him the 1. I want chaos. Give him the 1.
Christoph Simeon will just. I don't know what Christoph Simeon's going to do if he gets stalled 1. Stad gets 14. Oh,
14.
Oh,
this is so funny.
This is brutal.
This race is going to be this race might be a car crash. They might all just.
Oh, we're gonna see if humidity draws in.
And both.
Yes, good point. Now we're going to get to see this humidity actually line up.
It doesn't look like it. 4 left.
All the horses I like are getting bad posts.
Here's Johnny. He's going to come out of 1.
Johnny.
Oh, I don't like any.
Man, Pete Aiello needs to give the race call on Here's Johnny.
Do they know that Aidan O'Brien is chasing down the record of group and Grade 1 wins in a single season? They're like, screw you.
They might.
This might be an all-button race. The post my horses are getting is not making me happy.
Only 2 left for humidity. I don't think he's in.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I think they pulled him, which
I
is
think
a real
Turf
shame.
Star was an AE.
I like Turf
definitely
Star.
was.
It's the horse we didn't talk about, but I like Turf Star.
Gordon Pass with Irad. Winner. Good night. Good night. There's your winner.
50 to 1.
Ortiz.
And third beer gets the 4 gate. So
and
no humidity.
O'Brien's getting after this post.
The 50 to 1 bomb, Gordon Pass gets stalled 11, and Stad gets severely handicapped with that big draw.
Wow.
My goodness. Okay. Well, hey, listen, Head of the Bomb came from a wide draw and ended up winning the Breeders' Cup. Famously, Candace Hare tipped that horse up on the Final Furlong podcast as a nap.
Henri Matisse won last year from 13.
Yeah, good point.
It's possible. It is very possible, but man, that stinks.
That's.
But there's a horse that's escaping me, Ryan. It was fairly recent, and it was a turf race. It was within the last like 2 or 3 years. I thought there was a horse who won in like a crazy photo that was in the 14 hole.
Order of Australia?
No, it was. I can't think of the name of the horse.
Hit it a
But I
bomb?
know they were double digit on post. No, I'm going to have to find it. But I know it was a turf mile it was a turf race, and I know they were a wide post, and it was like one of the craziest photos. The horse flew like a truck.
I think that was hit at a bomb. Held up, came from the back of the field.
I'm going to have to find it at some point.
On the
I'll let Tim do his 5. I can't think, or 6. I can't think of mine yet. I need time, so I'll let Tim go before me.
and he's also just.
I'll give him the pleasure.
We're not giving FanDuel free ads. What's going on here? Ain't doing any of that stuff. Okay, Tim.
Was that me that just left? What just happened?
No. That was we ended up inadvertently playing a commercial for the good old folks at FanDuel, so they're all right. They're not stuck for a few
Very
promos.
good.
Okay, Tim Shaw, your multiple for the Breeders' Cup, please.
Oh, it was Master of the Seas. Sorry, go ahead.
So where are we starting? We're going to start with the juvenile.
You start wherever you want.
We'll start wherever I want. I'm just going to. Well, True Love. I'm going to start with True Love. Ted Noffey, Hope Road, Rebels Romance, and Sovereignty and Nisos. Is that an order that I can go in? Because I'm completely confused.
Nope, that's you don't have to pick an order. You can pick whatever way, as long as there's an interest in bets. So do you want to confirm those for us?
No. My brain is melting. My brain is melting here. Yeah. Ooh. True Love, Ted Noffey, Hope Road, Rebels Romance, Sovereignty, and Nisos.
Okay.
Is that 6?
That's perfect.
Is that 6?
Yep.
Is that 7?
6.
Okay, 6, yeah.
Okay, Charlie Freeman, your multiple that is sending us to Dubai for the Breeders' Cup.
So I'm really torn here because I don't want to use too many Bafferts, and there's also the part of me that wants to chase with my heart for vibes and just go with Reef Runner in this thing, even though I think that race anybody could win, but it would be so funny. And then there's also the part of me, and after hearing what Tim had to say too, made me feel better. There's a part of me who really wants to put Percy's Bar in this. The more I look at the race, the more I don't want to go with all the easy chalks. I want to have a few.
Well, Percy's the horse that's going to send you to Dubai. You need value.
Correct.
Yeah. No, that's fair. All right. All right. You know what? So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with Percy's Bar. I'm still going to go with Precise. I don't like the post, but I'm just going to go with it anyway.
We're probably going to get a bigger price now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ted Noffey. Nothing's changed my opinion there. So what, I'm at 3?
Yep.
Okay, so I got to pick 3 more. Jesus. Okay. I'm going out of order. I'm going to go with Nisos and Sovereignty. I know it's not going to pay a ton, but I mean, I'm not going to just not take free money. If you're going to give me skip legs, I'm going to take them. And I still got to go one more. Man, this is tough. Okay, I'm not going with Hope Road. That's not fun enough. I got to have fun. Okay.
Reef?
Do I go Reef Runner or do I go? Wait, have I used Seismic Beauty yet?
No.
Ugh, damn it. All right, I'm going to use Seismic Beauty. But just know for the vibes one, I'm definitely doing one with Reef Runner, and everybody should. Even if you do it for €5, you have to find one with Reef Runner.
I feel like the vibes, you just do 2. You go Percy's Bar and Reef Runner and just call it you can buy Dubai when that comes in.
They will be paying you in installments, Charlie.
And I'll tell you what. If I back Emmet and Howard and I do those 2, and then I try to beat Minnie Hauk and Rebels Romance and do it with Amalok and Goliath, where I could take either of them, I could buy a country or 2.
Yeah.
Very good.
There you go.
You'll be paid like the GDP of Argentina. Didn't they just get a big bailout?
Emmet, you and I will be.
They just get 40 bill from us. So
maybe not then. Maybe we get a 40 bill bailout if this doesn't.
Hey, that'd be nice.
Can somebody call up Trump and go, hey, if this doesn't work, do we get paid? Does that work? Can we do that?
It might. There's a chance it works.
Hey, Melee failed. Melee failed. And you guys were talking up. Where's Elon's chainsaw now? Can we just we just Ryan on the parade ring in the Breeders' Cup with a chainsaw It's like cutting the place to pieces, and then we get a bailout if it doesn't work out. Yeah, this is kind of cool. Okay.
Incredible.
Percy's Bar, Precise, Ted Noffey, Nisus, Sovereignty, Seismic Beauty, but then for the vibes, you're looking at Amalot Goliath / Reef Runner. That's the Charlie Bomb, and I think that's the way to do this. I want to play a multiple. We'll reveal. I'm sure you're on tender hooks to know who we're going to go with. We'll reveal it on Wednesday with the UK angle, the UK and Irish side of things for the Breeders' Cup. I've had a blast with this, guys. I've really enjoyed getting to hang out with you all and have your time. It's a lot of fun to talk racing with you. We had a lot of fun last year. This was a longer show than intended, but we could have gone another 2 hours, no problem at all. I kind of want to do just the live.
We somehow topped your time with Ryan. I didn't think that was
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
going to say, we just went over the time that you and I were on the show, so I paid back that 2.5 hours to you.
Yeah, fair play. We've turned. Yeah, Ryan and I talked for 2 hours the other night. Turns out we've done the same thing here. Who'd have thought it? We could just do a whole live stream reacting to the draw and losing our minds, going, "Oh, you got screwed." But that's it.
Thanks for spending some time with us on the Final Furlong podcast. We're independent media, so if you like what we do, hit like, share, and subscribe. It's free, it's quick, and it genuinely helps. And if you enjoyed this episode, there's plenty more where that came from. Don't miss out. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major platforms, and join us on the gravy train. The Final Furlong podcast, independent, unfiltered, and powered by you.